National Congress of Neighborhood Women is an organization formed in October 1974 by over 200 neighborhood women and community organizers who had come together in Washington, D.C. to discuss the needs of working-class ethnic women. The Congress Charter states that it is concerned with neighborhood women working on issues to improve their communities and their own status in the United States. Because the Brooklyn contingent was the largest, national headquarters were established in their community of Williamsburg.
A lot of women might need this for one reason or another, for the fact that, they can't get out into the world unless they have a little help. Other women want to be here to help these women. And, most of the time when you go to churches or schools or what have you, all the organizations, sure, the men run it, but who's really holding up this organization? It's the woman on the lower level who's running the cake sales, running the luncheons and serves, running all these things to get the money so that this man's organization can function. And now finally the women are getting together to do things for the women.
What kind of things does the National Congress do?
Oh, everything. You name it, practically. And if we're not doing it now, we'll be doing it, say, maybe 5 months from now, 2 months from now, a year from now. And we're working together. Like, we have support groups now at night where, women get together and just talk about themselves, the women that need that, like they can get a pat on the back from somebody else, because some women never get a pat on the back. They have lived a long time without anybody coming over and say, hey, what you did is great. What you said was wonderful. Gee, that was terrific. I learned something from you. They might not get this from their home, their family, their environments. We have legal workshops that are working, to we had a woman in credit workshop last night, legal workshop, to inform the women what they can do, what's open to them, or other problems that they might have as far as legally, and what rights they have legally that maybe a lot of women don't know about. We're trying to work on housing. We have women in mental health, senior citizens who need a lot of, maybe they're lonely, and they just to have somebody to talk to. We're doing so much. We're going to have a speakers bureau too, to get it, to get out and tell the people that we're here if you need us and what we're all about. Because a lot of people say, oh, women's group, and they close the door and they sort of walk away, they shy away. Women's group, every women's group is the same. They're a bunch of nuts, a bunch of radicals, a bunch of this or a bunch of that. All right, we may be a women's group, but that doesn't mean that Miss Jones feels the same way about certain issues that Mrs. Smith feels about. Maybe they feel about the same things about some issues, but not about everything. That you can't say, well, we stand for this, or we stand for that alone, because some women might feel this way on the subject, and some women might feel that way, but we're willing to listen and come together and work together.
Anything else would you like to say? What do you think of all these radical feminists working in this organization?
I haven't met any. I mean, they might be radical feminists, but they're just like, they seem to be no different than I am. If they are radical feminists, they don't walk around like with an invisible sign on them for everybody to see it. I mean, there may be some, and if that's what they're for, if that's what they feel, I mean, they have a right to feel that way, whether it's wrong or right. I mean, they have a right to feel that way if this is what they want. And maybe society or men have made them into radical feminists, and maybe the men can blame themselves for the way these radical feminists are happening today, because they probably, if no doubt, are the cause of it.
What is a radical feminist?
What is a radical feminist? Well, by what society takes it, or by how I take it?
Oh, both.
Oh, all right, both. Well, I guess the way society looks at, or the news media, radical feminists, burn your bra, you look masculine, this nut who's doing all these stupid things, why are they doing this and why are they doing that? But, well, radical to me is maybe I'm a feminist. I've been a feminist all my life since I'm at least 10 years old in a lot of ways. But I have never, radical, I guess, means maybe they're coming on too strong, but maybe that's how they have to be heard. Because just like, when you talk to your children, you say, would you come here, I need you. and, you know, they don't come. If you scream and say, come here, I need you, then you get their attention and you come. So maybe they have to scream to get the people's attention, you know. Unfortunately, that's not a good way to do it, but if that's the only way, you know, then you have to do it, you know. And I don't really know that much about radical feminists. I don't read the papers. I'm a little misinformed like that. But I think that in learning from seeing these people, that they're a lot different than people think they are. Because I was interviewed one time with a group of women, working women and middle-class women, and I was opposed to the fact that these feminists come out and scream about Playboy magazine and scream about Fly Me, and, you know, scream about these things. And I said, but what are they yelling about? If this woman is doing that, if she wants to do that for that kind of money, I mean, I wouldn't do that for that kind of money, but if she wants to do it for that kind of money, I mean, who's to yell? Why are they yelling and screaming at her? If she wants to get up there and parade like a, you know, with no clothes on, why are they yelling and screaming? Until one person that I talked to said to me, well, the reason why they're yelling it, it's not so much that these women are doing it for the money, but for the fact that the way it epitomizes the female, the woman, that this is all she is just a sex object, and they don't want the women to be shown like that. And now I understand that, and I think that's great. And I told that to these other women, and then the one woman looks at me and she says, you know, where did you get this from, you know? Nancy Seifer by name. And I said, just by listening to Alice Quinn, who told me that. And there is Alice Quinn. See, I mean, I'll change my mind if you give me a legitimate reason. If you give me a good argument, you know, that does sound logical. I mean, I could never understand it before, but now I do see their side. And now, like I said before, I'm learning that there is a side to everybody's feelings, that even though they seem crazy to me or they don't seem quite right, maybe instead of saying, look at that dopey jerk, why don't you go to that person you think is a dopey jerk and talk to him and say, hey, what are you all about? Why are you doing this? And then who knows, maybe tomorrow you might be right in line with them.
This segment on the National Congress of Neighborhood Women was produced by Christine Noschese and Susan Milano. We'd like to thank the people at the National Congress, as well as Ronnie Hagerty, the woman you've just seen.